everyone, it's Rochelle, Legacy Home and Garden, and welcome to my kitchen again. Today, I am going to be doing something for my mom. I've been extremely busy for the last probably 8 weeks with some personal stuff, life, owning our own business, running the homestead here, just so many things going on, just like everybody else. But you know what? The one thing that I've neglected is my mom. I hate that. And it seems like when I have a quiet moment or a free moment, I'm selfish and I just want that for myself, to just sit and have a coffee and just do nothing instead of getting in my vehicle and driving over to see my mom, who's 15 minutes away. So there's no excuse. I feel terrible, but my mom loves brownies. She loves all things chocolate. So today I'm going to make some brownies for my mom and take those over to her this afternoon. It's Tuesday, so I have the day off. Every Tuesday is my day off from the business. Now, these brownies are not homemade. They're not. I bought this triple chocolate mix at Sam's, and there's like four packs in here, and I'm going to make one for my mom, and I know she's going to love them. Now, I am going to skip putting the frosting on the top. I'm not going to add extra chocolate, but I'm going to make those for her. When I finish that, I am going to can green beans and potatoes together. Never done it before, but I have watched this Divers Homestead, and they've done it, and they have a video on it. I'm going to go watch that video again and refresh, and then I'm going to try it, and I'm going to bring you along for that. If you haven't talked to your mom or been to see your mom, pick up the phone or get in the car and go see her. Beeping means my brownies are ready. So, I was gonna reach around and pick those up. Not too smart, huh? The brownies I made for my mom, and then I'm gonna be letting cool, cut up, and take to her in a little bit. Move these to the table. Hey guys, okay, brownies are done for mom. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to be working on these beans from the garden. And I've washed them. And now I'm just going to cut the ends off of them. Cut them down smaller. And get these ready to can with some potatoes. The potatoes are still sitting down in the garden shed. We harvested those not too long ago. And I've let it, well, probably about a week. And I've let them sit there just to kind of cure. So it's raining out, so I'm going to use this time to get these green beans ready. And like I said, all I'm doing is I'm just, I know you could probably do this with your fingers, but this is easier. And I've already washed them, okay? And now what I'm doing is you could snap them in half. I don't want real big pieces, I want smaller pieces. And this is the last of the beans. And I'm just getting these prepped to can, and I'm going to be pressure canning these green beans with potatoes today. It's my first time. I've never done it. Like I said, the Stivers had a video out on it from maybe 1 or 2 years ago that I had originally watched, so I saved that video because I thought one day when I get my beans and potatoes from my garden, I want to do that. So I saved that video. I went back and watched it just to refresh. I've already cleaned all of my jars, but these will be the jars that I'm using. I'm hoping to get 7 quarts. I think this is a quart. I'm hoping to get 7 quarts out. So I'll bring you along for that process. Are you canning in your kitchen? You know, it's something that's new for me, and I'm really excited because Ron is making me an outdoor kitchen where I can do things like this, where I can make my salves and my tinctures, where I can dehydrate, because I'm wanting to do some garlic and onion, things like that, and just having that outdoor space is going to be amazing, and I can't wait. But for now, doing it in my kitchen, which, no problem. But I'll bring you along for the process. All right, I brought these potatoes in. What I'm going to do to begin with is just get some of the dirt, the soil, and the compost and all of that off my potatoes, because these taters were in the ground. They were around all the bugs. They were around all the compost. They were around all the worms. They were in the ground in all of that, and these skins can harbor a lot of things. So what I've learned is you really want to wash them good, and then cut out the bad spots if there's any. And then what you want to do is peel them, okay? So I'm going to get these potatoes washed and peeled, and then what we want to do is extreme close-up. How's that? Then what we're going to do is first we're going to wash all these potatoes like I was showing you. Then I'm going to peel them, and then I'm going to chunk them up. Then I understand we got to have 2 pots of hot water. One that we're going to put the cubed potatoes in, and the other one is just hot water, and we're going to use that to fill our jars with. So I don't want to go too fast. So first things first, I washed and cut up my green beans. Done. Second thing, went to the shed, got my cured potatoes from the garden. I'm going to wash them, I'm going to peel them, and then I'm going to cube them. And then I'm going to bring, oh, sorry, bring you back. Hey guys, now I've already washed these potatoes just roughly by hand, but I've got my loofah here and I'm gonna use it and I'm gonna scrub the skin some more and just kind of really get those cleaned, okay? Then I'm gonna cut the spots off if there are any, okay? And then I'm gonna get them cubed up. But I'm just kind of doing a double wash here because these potatoes were down into everything. You know, like this one looks pretty darn good, but then this one looks a little rough. So use your best judgment when you do this. And remember, you're going to be canning this and you don't want bacteria or anything like that. And that's why I'm going to be actually taking these skins off. Hey guys, now that I've got my potatoes washed, I'm just going to peel them. And these peel so nice. Okay, look at that. Isn't that great? Can you see that actually? I'm not sure if you can. But I'm just peeling them now. Okay, these peels I'm going to put on my compost. I've been giving quite a bit to the chickens, but I want to remember that I have to feed my compost also. So we're just going to peel these, and then we're going to chunk them up. And then we're going to commence canning them, pressure canning them with our green beans. So I got that little spot there, so that little spot right there. Okay, so I'm just going to get that out. I want to get all that off of there. Okay, there we go. Homegrown tater right there. Okay, so let me get these finished. Okay guys, here's where we are in the process of canning our green beans and potatoes together. I've got my pressure canner warming up. I've got about 3 inches of water in the bottom. Back here I have a pot with just plain water warming up. Here I've got a pot of water where I'm going to put my potato pieces in for about 2 to 3 minutes. We don't want to, I've got them, here's my beans. Sorry, here's my beans. And here are the potatoes cut and peeled and ready to go. So we don't want to put these in here and cook these potatoes, for heaven's sakes. We just kind of want to blanch them. Let me turn you. Can you see me okay? Can you see what I'm doing? We just want to blanch these for about 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, so what I'm going to do is take some of these potatoes here. Okay, I'll have to do it in batches because I have just such a small pot. All right, so probably do a couple of batches. And I'm going to get these in this water, which is hot water, going, but it's not boiling water. Okay, it's not boiling. All right, and now while that's going for a couple of minutes, I have my jars in here getting warm. Guys, I'm going to figure this camera out one of these days. Okay, sorry, I just stink at it. Is that better? So you can kind of see? I don't know, I'm sorry. So, when these are warm enough in here, and they are getting nice and warm, I'm going to pull these jars out. I'm going to go ahead and put the salt, 1 teaspoon of pickling salt, 1 teaspoon of pickling salt in each jar. Then I'm going to put some green beans in it, and then I'll put the potatoes on the top. Okay, I'm still working on this camera. Let's try that. So, these have been going here just for, and I've got a dry, empty bowl here that I'm going to be putting these potatoes in after they're in this water for about 2 minutes. I'm hoping to get 7 quarts. I don't think I'm going to. I don't think I have enough potatoes and beans, but whatever I get is more than what I got, right? So jars are warming up. I'm going to take those out and put those over here. I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of salt. I'm going to put my green beans in, and then I'll be ready to add my potatoes. So let's see how this goes. Let me get my mitts. They're by the Brownies. Hold on. I think I might use these to get those out, but I could also use these, so let me try it. Now that doesn't have a lot of heat to it yet, so I just had the jars getting warmed up in here. Yeah, nice and warm, nice and warm. So I'm gonna go ahead and take these out. Okay. Well, you know what? They're not that warm. So I think I'm gonna leave them in just a little bit longer because they're not really that warm. And I want nice, warm jars to be putting my stuff in. So I'm gonna wait a little longer on those jars because I could totally touch them with no problem. Hey guys, okay, our potatoes, we've had them in here for 3 minutes, and we're gonna take these out, put them in this bowl here, so I can go ahead and get my next batch in. Now these are not cooked done, they're not, but they're not rock hard either. Okay, so 2 to 3 minutes they say for the cubed potatoes. It says in the book if you're gonna do like the wholes, kind of smallish potatoes, you do 10 minutes or something like that. It says in the ball book. I just chunked mine up like what I saw. So set those aside, and I'm going to put in the next group of potatoes I have here. And we're going to do these and the reason I have them sitting in this water is because I don't want them to turn brown while they're cut and, you know, waiting to get put in. And so I went ahead and put them in here. Now, I've only got a couple in the bottom, so I'm just going to grab those with my fingers. Yep. Get those going. Hey Siri, set my timer for 3 minutes. Now, I got rid of that water because I'm going to use the water that's on the stove, not the water that the potatoes were sitting in. And certainly not the water that I'm boiling or getting really hot back here. So these are going to go for 2 to 3 minutes. I'll be right back. Hey guys. Okay, our last batch of potatoes are finished. My timer went off, so these are at their 3 minutes also. So we're just going to take these out. This water back here is hot. Okay. So we've gotten all the potatoes out. Now, we are not using this potato water to fill our jars. No, we're not. We are going to use that hot water in that back pan there that I was telling you about. So, turn this off. This is hot. I'm going to pull my jars out. Oh, I got this upside down. Yep. There's one. And now they're smoking. Now I'm happy. You know, these, I'm going to reach in with my mitts. Or my mitt. Sorry. And get those. What on earth is on my jar? Oh, it's on the outside. Okay. It's on the outside. I freaked out there for a minute. Of course, you can do this however you want. You can use your little doohickey things there. But for some reason, I just find it easier using my hands. And with these silicone gloves, I don't get burnt or anything. I love them. And they're all nice and sterile. Everything's nice and sterile. So I only have 2 in there, and I don't want to knock something over and break it. I'm going to use my tongs here. Got nice hot water out of there. That one's got a little bit left in it. I'm going to pour that out and get this one out. And this one's got a little bit too. Probably not the most conventional way that people can, but hey, I'm new. I'll take it. Now, I also put a little tiny bit of vinegar in that water because when everything splashes up and stuff, I don't want everything getting water spots. Okay, so here we go. 1 teaspoon of canning salt per jar, and I'm just going to start with a few. I'm not going to fill all these up in case I don't have enough potatoes, and you know, this thing's kind of wicked to get into closed up like this, so you know what, I'm just going to open that up and make it easier for me to get the salt out, because that's kind of a pain in the butt. Okay, here we go. One teaspoon canning salt. 1 teaspoon canning salt. 1 teaspoon. I'm going to start with 3. See what happens. Then you're going to put your green beans in here. Okay. Now, I'm making a mess. I guess that's what this funnel's for. Put your green beans on the bottom. There we go. Put you some potatoes in there. There we go. Oh, you guys, I might only get a couple of these because, whew, as you can see, I'm putting in more potatoes than I'm putting in beans because that's how we like it. All right, I'm going to keep going. I know I got at least 1, okay? And here we go on the second one. Putting my green beans in the bottom. And then put my potatoes on top of that. Yep, it looks like I'm going to get 3, you guys, not 7. So, since my canner holds 7, then what on earth am I going to do with the rest of the space in there? Okay, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to fill the remaining jars up with water and put them in there because that will keep it from the jars rattling around. Okay, there'll just be water in them. All right, so now what I've got is these 3 cans, or these 3 quarts. Now I'm ready to add my hot water. So I've got this handy dandy little thing here, and I'm just going to dip in and get my hot water out instead of ladling it out. And we're going to want to put it to 1-inch headspace here. And that's typically going to be from the top of the rim right down to the bottom. Okay? To the bottom, right there. That's typically what you want. And I'm just using clean hot water. It's just clean hot water that I brought up to temp. Okay. And I'm just filling those. Oh, I'm sure thankful that I used my bigger pot for that water. Whoops, a little bit too much in that one. Okay, now what we're going to do is we got to get these air bubbles out. So how I'm going to do that is I'm going to take a chopstick here, and I'm just going to poke down and around my sides and get any air bubbles out, and that'll help my food get down there too. There we go. That's perfect. All them air bubbles are coming up to the top. Yep. Oh, that's perfect. This one needs a little bit more liquid. There we go. You know what? It might have, oh no, that's perfect. After I got all the little air bubbles and everything out, it's just absolutely perfect. Now, next step is I warmed up and sterilized my little lids. So I'm gonna take my lid. No, I almost forgot. Almost forgot an important part of this, guys. You have to clean your lids and your rims with vinegar. And that's to keep in, get anything, if anything's gotten on those lids and stuff there, which I'm sure it has, from me putting the food and everything in there, we want to clean that off. So we're going to go around our rim like that and across the top and get any debris off of there, okay? Then we're going to do each one of these rims. These are nice and warm across the top and around the edges. Okay, all around those edges like that and across the top like that. Then you're going to take your lid and you're just going to put it on like that. Okay, there we go. Then you're going to take your ring. You're going to put your ring on there. They say fingertip tight. So that's what I'm doing. Fingertip tight. Last one. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I am going to use my little doohickey now. I'm going to pick these up, okay, and I'm going to put them in my canner. There's one. This might seem like a lot of work for 3 cans of vegetables and potatoes, which would just be a side dish for me and Ron. But here's the deal. Part of this is because I'm still learning. So I've learned I need more potatoes, I need more beans to do 7 quarts. And that's fine because, you know, I didn't know. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take and fill these with water. Okay? And some people might see this as a waste because you have to use a lid and a rim. Your rims you can reuse, but your lids you can't. I don't see it as a waste because I'm learning. And so for me, I'm just going to put this water in here. I'm not worried about sterilizing anything or whatever because this is just going to be used. I'm a nerd. This is just going to be used to keep my jars from jiggling around with each other. Okay? It's just going to keep it, the 3 that I do have, from getting all jiggled up. Let me use some of this water I got right here. Might as well, huh? Put that in the jar. Okay. Go ahead and put my rim on it. Like I said, not worried about that because when these are done, I'm just going to pop them open anyway. But I'm just using them again for the space in here so that my other things don't, the jars don't rattle around and break. So, and I've got some leftover water here. You know, you could just keep this water on your shelf, I guess, if you wanted to. Nothing wrong with it, you know. Alrighty. And I have room for one more jar of water. So I only ended up with 3 quarts. That's fine because I'm learning. Of course, you don't want to go through all this for 3 quarts of food. But for me, there's value in what I'm doing, and there's value in using these little rims and lids because 1, it's helping me to learn about pressure canning. 2, it's teaching me about how much food I need to have prepared in order for it to be, you know, proper. So I'm going to try and show you what it looks like inside my pressure canner. Whoa. Well, that was almost a catastrophe, guys. Almost a catastrophe. There. So inside my pressure canner. Can you see that all right? Now I've got them in there so they're not going to be jiggling around. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, well, as soon as I get this thing figured out here. Thanks for hanging in there with me. I'm such a newbie at this. And it shows. Now what I'm going to do is going to put my lid down on my pressure canner. Okay? Now, let's see. I turn that around. It goes this way. On these Presto, they have these little things that show you how to open and close it. There we go. Okay. Now, I feel almost like it's backwards, but it's not. This is going to sit here until it starts. Ouch. I'm going to turn it around because my vent is on the other side. Oh man, that was heavy. Okay. Here's my vent. And here. And what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit until it's has vented right here. There'll be some steam and stuff coming out of it, and this will pop up or start, and then I'll put my weight on it, and then we'll build it up to 10 pounds to prep. That was kind of choppy how I described that at this moment, but you're going to want to get this hot. The water inside here is going to get really hot and start creating some steam. The steam will start coming out. Okay, then what you're going to want to do is put your weight on it, and you'll pressure can it. This will pop up when it's building up the pressure. I think that's right. I have to check it because I don't want to tell you wrong. Okay, sorry guys. You ever go to do something, you start talking about it, and everything you thought you know just went out your brain? That's what happened. So the way I understand it is you close this up and you let this vent for 10 minutes. And then after 10 minutes, you put your weight on and build it to 10 pounds of pressure. When you get to your 10 pounds of pressure for potatoes and green beans like I'm doing, you're going to do it for 40 minutes pressure canned. Okay? So after your 40 minutes, then you're going to turn the heat off and don't remove the weight. Leave that weight on there until it comes all the way back down to 0, and then wait a couple extra minutes. And then go ahead and take your weight off and open it, because when there's no more of anything spitting out, all the pressure is out. And then you can take your lid off and set your cans out to cool. So I'll bring you back for that process, and I'm sorry about that. Okay guys, we've had this going about 10 minutes now, and so it's venting. And so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and put my weight on. And we're going to let this build up to 10 pounds of pressure.
Adopts body changes really quickly. You can literally watch them transform from a playful puppy into an energetic teenager.
For my mom.
First year of life. Unfortunately, once
I know she's gonna love them.
And for larger dogs, this can start.
Hey guys, what we've got here is we've got some action, so I wanted to bring you so you could see it. This here is just a rattling around and steam. And then what that's going to do now is cause pressure to build up. So we're going to start seeing our pressure. When we get to our 10 pounds of pressure is when we'll set our timer for 40 minutes. But I just wanted to let you know, until that thing gets going and pops, it's just getting all nice and hot and steamy in there. And it'll start building pressure here, and I'll show you what that looks like when that happens. Well, that didn't take too long, and look. You see that?
I thought instead of just putting them in compost,
this is popped up. Okay, so you see it's up. It's going to start building pressure. So, just have a look for a minute.
Areas to grow in the future, but it also may. And I figure if I put them in compost, it's not going to get to me anyway. So it won't hurt to leave these.
Here I go again.
Instead of just putting them out here.
Oh, don't shoot me. Don't hate me because I'm inexperienced. Okay, so now pressure is not going to build immediately. It's a slow process. You want to stay with your pressure canner. Don't be going off into other parts of your house doing other stuff. When you're canning, you're canning. At least me. Okay, so this is going to slowly build up to its 10 pounds. And when that happens, I'm going to set my timer for 40 minutes. And in the meantime, I've just been doing the cleanup in the kitchen and getting those brownies to take to my mom. So we're almost to our pressure buildup. All right, y'all. I just wanted to show you that we are up to about 3 pounds of pressure. The little knob is up. Thing is venting its little steam there. And so pressure is going. So when we get to 10 pounds, like I've said numerous times, probably more for you than for me, or more for me than for you so I don't forget, is that I'm going to do it for 40 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. So I'm pretty stoked because I'm learning so much about what I'm doing with canning. And, I'm so new to it, but I'm kind of finding out it's a little bit addictive. Yeah. Okay, guys, we're at 40 minutes. I just turned the heat off. So if you're just canning green beans, you do those for 25 minutes. But we're doing green beans and potatoes together as a side dish. So you have to can the vegetable, the potato for 40. So because they're combined together, doesn't matter. So you still have to go with the 40. But if you're just doing green beans, you can do 25 minutes. But these are at 40 minutes, pressure canned, 10 pounds of pressure. I've turned the heat off. We're going to let this sit until we're back down to 0. So we are almost done. Okay, here we are in our process, guys. We're all the way down to 0. Okay, it stopped venting. There was no sizzling or anything, no water coming out. So I took the weight off. And now I've also... this little pressure knob was still standing up, which means there's still pressure in here. So I just let this sit until this knob is down. Now, these are completely done. So we're going to open this carefully, okay? Because it's still gonna be hot. So you always wanna be careful. Here's my mitts. Take it from this direction and go ahead and take that out. Now there's going to be some condensation under that lid, so you want to be careful. Now what we're going to do is take our potatoes and carrot and now you remember I didn't have enough cans, right? So I did water. Just to keep everything from knocking into each other, right? And you want to put them on this towel because you don't want them to be sitting on that granite or anything like that. Look at there. Look at there what we did. Look at what we did. Okay, now of course this is my recap. What did I learn? I learned that I'm still learning and that I need to judge better the amount of food I need for canning in quarts. I learned that doing potatoes and beans together is not difficult to do at all. Of course, the first time you do it, it always takes you longer. You're nervous. You keep double checking yourself. But overall, I'm very pleased with the outcome. I only had 3 quarts of beans and potatoes, so I used 4 quarts just water and put those in there just to keep the cans or the jars from jiggling around or anything like that. It doesn't hurt a thing. I also learned, or I wanted to say, which I didn't, I only added salt, but you can add other things if you want. If you want to put in garlic salt, if you want to put in onion, if you want to put in basil or any of those kind of things, you certainly can. Season to your taste. This was my first time, so maybe next time I'll experiment with something else. Overall, I enjoyed doing it. I definitely will do it again. I might try canning corn. Maybe I've never done that, so I might try that in the future. So I thoroughly enjoyed the process. It wasn't difficult to do. It's a little nerve-wracking each time I do it because you are dealing with a pressure canner. You have to be really on point. But I hope that you do try it. I hope you learned something from this video. But most of all, I appreciate that you came by and that you watched. And hopefully you'll try potatoes and green beans. I've also learned too, depending on the type of potato, I've seen some people who don't put their potatoes in the water for 2 to 3 minutes. If they're using like a Yukon Gold, a softer potato, they don't hot pack those at all. They just cut them and put them in right with their beans. So, always refer to your Ball home canning book if you have any questions. But thanks for coming by and spending this time in the kitchen with me. I am now going to pack up and go take these brownies that I made for my mom over to her. But thanks for coming by. It's Rochelle with Legacy Home and Garden, and I appreciate you being in the kitchen with me today.